All right, we're back with more Bob Pompeani, Chris Mueller right here at 412-575-2600. A lot to get into. So the Flyers did come back. Who knows, Chris? Those are the kind of wins that could jumpstart a team that's been struggling big time. If Carter Hart ever finds this game, and that's going to be the key, but they're closing in now. They and Boston have a good match going there to who at this point looks like the fourth playoff team. Boston still has 4 games in hand, now 5 games in hand on the Penguins. 2 of them coming up this week, so those are going to be critical, I think, as well.
Well, if the Penguins are able to get 3 out of those 4 points against the Bruins, or better, obviously, 4 out of 4 would be the only other better one, they would pretty much put Boston in the rearview mirror, I would think. If you get even 1 out of those 2 games, a win, and you just split and you don't really let the Bruins make up any ground, I think that's huge too. And by the way, we all looked at these games against the Islanders and the Bruins as measuring sticks for their own sake, right? Where are the Penguins? Where are they at? What do they look like? Well, passed with flying colors, even if they didn't play their absolute best hockey against the Islanders, they did enough to win both games. They beat the Bruins twice like that. I mean, you start really looking at this team and think you maybe have something special brewing with them, because that's you don't want to say it yet because any hockey season can turn so quickly, honestly, but it's starting to get that little creeping vibe like they may have something special brewing with this team.
Yeah, and it also has the same kind of vibe that it did back in 16 when they brought up guys from Wilkes-Barre. All of them contributed, and you thought, okay, maybe this is just for a couple of games, and it continued. So who knows what we'll see. Meantime, let's go to the phone lines. We'll begin with Kurt in Harmer, who joins us on line 3. Hello, Kurt.
Hi, Bob. 2 quick points. The Penguins, for the last 20 years, has consistently fielded an entertaining and exciting product, man, year in and year out. And second, that's a testament to your knowledge of sports, Bob. You phenomenally predicted Gonzaga's going to run the field from the
haven't done it yet.
to the finish line, and you're doing it, buddy.
Well, that's not exactly going on a limb either, but thank you, Kurt. I'll take it if it so should happen. But they still have 3 games left, but I still think they're the best team, Chris. I do. I mean, they're playing in a way that every team's getting blown out. I thought Creighton's a very good basketball team, and they just kind of dominated them as they've dominated everybody.
That's like saying you're going out on a limb and the limb is as wide as a redwood tree. Like you could build a house, the limb is so strong. Yeah, saying Gonzaga is going to run through the tournament, I'm sorry, I'm going to be a little bit tougher than Kurt there. And I'm not going to give you a lot of credit for that because you and everybody else had Gonzaga.
Yeah, but Virginia lost to a 16 seed. You remember that one? So, I mean, everybody picked them that year, and they came back the next year and won.
Come on.
But it can happen.
I'll tell you what.
They won by double digits, though. They're so impressive.
No, I mean, they are so good that they make it look, I would say, borderline easy. And they just, I thought the thing said against Creighton was the best thing I've heard about them. They just never appear to be particularly rushed, panicked, or anything else, and they just absolutely dissect everyone they play. I think Baylor's very good. I thought Florida State could give Gonzaga a game. We saw how that ended for Florida State. The one team that's a little bit interesting here, because I think they're prone to maybe going 20 points down to Gonzaga, Houston is a bunch of freaky athletic guys. I mean, they have a ton of bounce. I thought they humiliated Syracuse by just being so much more overwhelmingly athletic. If I could pick one matchup to see, I think I kind of want to see Houston and Gonzaga in that championship game.
Yeah, Houston can play defense. They lock you down pretty good. Got some tweets here before I go back to the lines, and the first one comes to us from Mike, 8771, who says, Bob, the Buccos shock the world and win the division this year. Well, Mike, if that should happen, I will not only save this, I'm going to spread it all over social media because it will not happen. But, Chris, on the topic of the Pirates.
Would that be more impressive than the Miracle Mets? Like, if they did that, I think it would have to be more unlikely than the Miracle Mets.
It's right up there.
I can't imagine it being right. I mean, they could lose 110, close to 115 games. I know people don't want to hear that. You say you're being mean. Come on, give these guys a chance. They have no pitching. They just don't have any pitching to speak of. We were talking about it on the show today. I like Chad Kuhl personally. I've gotten to talk to him more than a few times. I like him, but he has the least amount of credentials for an opening day starter that I can remember for this team.
Short of
for just
Ron
about
Vallone.
Any team too.
I remember Ron Vallone.
I mean, Vallone at least had a 10-win season under his belt at that point in his career.
The bottom line is you're right. If he's your opening day starter, it was either going to be him or Tyler Anderson, who's a journeyman. That says a lot about your depth. But the bottom line is they also don't have any power in their lineup, and I wonder where it will come from. But we'll see how it goes. I got this one also. Sean Kramer says when the Penguins get healthy, coaching staff has a lot of decisions to make, lineup adjustments. We'll see how they do. Let's go back to the lines on that topic, and we have Pete in Squirrel Hill. Hey, Pete.
Chris, how are you tonight?
Good, thanks.
All right, hey, Bob, the biggest long shot in sports history, I believe, was a couple years ago, the English Premier League. Leicester was 5,000 to 1 to start the season.
That's a good
and
call.
won the title. But about the Penguin game tonight, Bob, I didn't see the first period. Was there any contact in the crease with Tristan Jarry? Because even Murzy and Erie seemed mystified when he didn't come out to start the second period. So, do you have anything on that? Thanks
Nothing noticeable, although the Islanders, Chris, they were going in there a couple of times digging for pucks, and it looked like he was kind of torquing himself a couple of times in order to stave off some of those saves. I don't know. It could have been any one of those things, but nothing that strikes me as obvious.
Yeah, I thought Sullivan sounded confused too. Like nobody really knew where it came from. They just knew that something was up with Tristan Jarry. He was, by hockey standards, borderline forthcoming about saying they just didn't really know it was upper body. By the way, is Pete and Squirrel Hill like a walking almanac? I really don't expect many of our viewers to know about the Leicester City thing or about the fact that a guy apparently put 1,000 euros, pounds, whatever it was, on them at 5,000 to 1 and walked away with a cool $5 million.
How about that?
How'd you like to win that bet?
How about the Stones to make that bet? Because there's no, I mean, you can do it, but you're going to lose money. There's no way that's going to happen. So you're right.
Sure, and then he just sat there like a rock.
Yeah.
He just sat there and didn't even think about it, and he got rewarded because they had that title wrapped up with like 2 weeks to go. It was the easiest $5 million he'll ever make.
Let's go out to line one. We got Chad, who joins us here on the Ireland Contracting Nightly Sports Call. Go ahead, Chad.
Yes, sir. Hey, I was just asking a couple things. With the Steelers, I'm hearing nothing but negativity, and I think we've made some good moves on our offensive and defensive line. Offensively, with people like Kevin Dotson in there, I think we've stepped up, and also some of the rookies coming on last year. I think Carlos Davis on the defensive side hasn't got enough credit. I just wondered what you thought about our line and the possible.
Well, I'm glad that
already.
Alu is coming back. Let me put it that way. I mean, Davis may have something. Isaiah Buggs may have something. I don't know, but I haven't seen consistently enough. I saw Buggs make a couple of plays in that game in Baltimore against Lamar Jackson, which were huge, but short of that, nothing. They need to do more on their offensive line. Negativity comes this time of the year, especially when they lost a lot of their defense, Chris, and they have shortcomings on offense. They got to figure it all out in one draft. It's hard to do.
I mean, in short here, still questions on the offensive line. They might bring Alejandro Villanueva back. That's still not off the table. If he comes back, that is be worried because he was not good last year, especially run blocking. So that means they just throw the ball a lot more. Their defense, you said it, Bob, lost a lot of key players. And guess what? Defensive line not getting any younger in terms of their best guys, Cam Hayward specifically. So I think there is reason for concern and doom and gloom right now with this team.
Yeah. Now it's time for our tweet of the day, which is brought to you by Tri-State Office Furniture. And here it is from Bob Grove. And boy, Mr. Grove, the Grovester, knows everything about hockey specific to Penguins. And he said in the regular season, career games played missed due to scratch, suspension, rested or hurt/sick. How about this? Letang, 201 in his career. Malkin and Crosby, those guys have missed like 2.5 seasons each. But that's how it is, and they're still playing at a pretty good level. And hopefully Malkin will be back, although he went on longer-term IR retroactive to March 16th. We're due for a break. We'll take it right now. Come back with more calls right here on Pittsburgh CW.